Hello and welcome to CathyDSlaught's SRC4u Zoom call for March 26, 2021. To access the Zoom call, you'll need to remember this passcode and click here. We're going to allow. We're going to type in the passcode and we're going to join. It'll give you the option to join with video and without video. We're going to join without video. We're going to join with computer audio.
So you see here, we're still running from yesterday. And so we were working on, I think, area, as I recall, and we're still going. So an interesting thought, you go up, and the whole point of all of this, and this is what we're going to go into in more detail next week, we know about the balance of yin and yang, but beyond that, it's what the Chinese would call qi, but is actually, I like to call it vital life force, because it kind of gets across that we've got to keep that high with increasing, energy towards it as well. And so one thing you can do as you do this work, for example, let's just see. Oh, there's two things I hadn't added in. Oh dear. Okay, so for example, we still are working on this to clear. Let's just see, for example, let's put priority for vital life force for Pro Tools for cancer tumor. And I'm not sure, did it say? No, tumor cyst. All right, we all automatically think cancer, but it's not always. Let's just see if we can just let that run, or if we need some Pro Tools. And the key is, it's our life force which is healing anything. See, we don't need that. We've got enough going here already. All we're doing, the symptoms, etc., we're just aware of those, because they may decrease our life force. That's our whole focus with this work, is because the healer is us. So again, we can do the same. Just add that little expression now that you're thinking in terms of it. Priority for vital life force for Pro Tools blood deficient. Again, not necessarily. So it looks like this wonder click is doing what we need to have done. There's endocrine. Okay, so that's where we want to go at this moment in time. It's all subtle. Let's go in here. What I had wanted to do, what I planned on, but let's just see. We know now we want to focus on the endocrine system. No, look at that. That wouldn't have been a priority, even though it's kind of fun to see what comes up, but let's just look at the supercharger at the same time. In other words, we have lists of the field generator cocktails. That might be good. We might want to do that when the supercharger scan, but the field generator is not a priority at this time. Okay, so this issue solver, let's go ahead and load this up. Let me see if we're finished with any of it. Well, there's one we started this, and then I was going to add more, so let's do it. So we want to do endocrine. And you can do that. We've got dispenser, light panel, sustenance balancer as well. So let's go in. I'll do the prayer warrior a little later. Let's go into the dispenser. I don't know if we have nothing special there. So let's just ask again. No, not necessarily. So let's just leave it as it is. See where we are. You can add these things. Here's our superfoods for the day if it works out. Been mentioning apple cider vinegar quite a bit. And I've read if we eat an avocado every day, it's a phenomenal boost for health. We're asking for aminos, enzymes, essential oils, fatty acids, flower essences, neurotransmitters. So it looks like a little brain stress as well. Speech, earth attunement, greater understanding of our planet, self-expression. So see, that's cleared up pretty well. And we're taking, look at that, 20 hours of this.
28.
28. Oh, thank you. I'm Mr. Magoo here.
That's substantial, hey?
I would say, yeah. I love to do this sustenance balancer. This is so much more powerful than we realize. Well, than I used to realize, at least. And so let's just go in here. For starters, just put all that stuff. See where we are. And again, you can do the same thing. We see, for example, kidney. So do we need to do a kidney scan from the manual of the different cocktails? Well, again. Nope. The balance here will take care of it. And y'all are looking at the kidney, bladder, meridians, and pancreas. So let's just check some of these things. Not necessarily. This is taking care of it. Okay, so we will also, let's go in here, balance that. Down here. The point I guess I'm trying to get to, we've got a ton of information. What's that? We have a ton of information, but don't tell me I don't have pancreas in here. We have a ton of information that's available, but we don't always need it. I guess the idea is the body's the healer. Sometimes all you need is one thing, and that's for your whole session, just one thing that clears the stress, your vital force goes up and corrects. And what's interesting with this kind of work, very often you'll have things happen that you wouldn't have expected. I'll give you a quick example. I'm working with someone who has a very serious physical situation. She's got the doctor working with her as well. You want to combine these things. But during this time, her marriage has gotten so much better. So keep in mind, as you clear this stress and your vital force begins to rise, other things may happen that you just hadn't anticipated. You could probably look at the work you've done and see many examples of this. So let's see. Okay, so at this point, we really don't have one that came up. Let's look again. It may not be in here. I like to go up to 3 times. Okay, this Delaware, this is a bunch of radionics. Let's just see what that is.
Often indiscriminate.
Average. I'll go ahead and do it, but there's something more we need for the pancreas, which brings up another example. If we're eating a lot of bad food, this is not going to be as effective. You see, there's a lot of these Delaware cocktails. This is a series of radionics that Dr. Percy provided us. All right, so let's go ahead.
Does Dr. Kersey ever do any classes online or anything?
No, it would be, it's probably time to check that, and I need to ask him to be on our calls. I'll do that today.
Cool.
Because he is a wealth of knowledge, and he shares.
Yeah, I thought maybe he might have, some classes or something that he did.
I don't know. I haven't caught up. I know that the bioetheric discs, which are so powerful, just like the SRC, it's hard to get something so different across as to the value.
Right.
So what he's working with most, I've got it right here, is this prayer disc.
Yeah.
And so let me see if I can get him on next week.
Okay.
Oh, let's look at our sustenance balancer here. And if you have your Pro Tools, it really, in the times we're in, wouldn't hurt to do these a couple of times a day, early and late. Here's our number one, attract good. Blood clot, again, this doesn't mean we have a blood clot, but there's some stress related. Clear deep cellular barrier of malignancy, so on and so forth. We're going to go down to first. Let's go ahead and I am going to add an endocrine image. To recreate. Oh shoot, I can't add the image on this. I'm hoping next week that Derek will be ready to come out. So right now I'm just going to go ahead and put let's just see if this will do it. Here we go. All right. So much for that. I will have that fixed next week, Lord willing. And we're going to scan this list and put it in, but all thoughts about 369, you could go ahead and put this in a couple of times, and then the third scan will go in. And if you really get carried away, you can put it in more. But oh, clear deep. These are all products. Here's your smash command. This black seed oil comes up a lot. That's something you might want to read up on if you haven't already. Possession correction. And remember that, again, could mean many things. Not necessarily, yes, as a friend used to call it, a spook. Flu virus. Well, maybe I need to add that one here. I have it on the other one, so I'll do that. Zinc, remove obstacles. Make lucky permanently, nothing wrong with that.
Speaking of flu virus, we had tons of chemtrails again this morning.
Oh, really?
I know, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, they're hitting us
We've
hard.
got some. Let's just go right here because we have some chemtrail cocktails.
I'm in Plant City, Florida, and they're hitting us hard day and night.
Huh.
That might be why virtually every day chemical detox comes up in some form for the group.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah, that would add. Yeah, look at that, 91. Look at that. We want a chemtrail cocktail.
Wow.
Let's go in here.
And you know what comes up for me a lot is vaccines. And I haven't had a vaccine since I've been a child. And I'm
Wow.
in my, well, I'm old.
I love it.
Yeah, so
See, there's your chemical Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. Well, you know, a couple of thoughts on that. I mean, obviously, our childhood vaccinations probably did have an effect, but secondly, it might be on your mind.
Yeah, maybe so.
You know, there is that possibility. You'll get people that, you know, they'll hear about a friend's illness, and then that illness will be in their scan. We've got a lot of these chemtrail cocktails, and I just hope that I've got this list in the manual. If not, it'll go in today.
And something I'm learning as...
You talking... what do you mean by that?
All those streaks you see in the sky.
Oh, yeah, you know, I thought they were against the law. They couldn't do that.
Yeah, right. Well, you would think.
Well, I see them quite often where I live all the time.
Right.
All right, so all I have right now for chemtrails, I need to make that list in this one. I may have it in the other computer in the form of a list, but I did see one. It was a radionics rate. Get up there.
I'd like to work on this too.
Yeah.
Let's see if I've got it in here.
I wonder if Grab-A-Boy has a number.
I'll bet he does, yeah. That's another good area. I've got that book somewhere. Okay, there's Contrail Crazy. Let's add that one for now, and then on the other computer I will scan and add whatever else we need, but we'll start with that. That's a radionics rate from that new list.
Cool.
I don't know if I put it in the sustenance balance or not. No. The way it ends up, something ends up in the sustenance balancer is when it's called for with the Pro Tools. And this is an interesting one, inherited enzyme deficiency that makes cells more susceptible to B1 deficiencies. And so that again is one of the radionics, and we wanted it this way. We're calling for it today. I kind of shortened the description. Nutrient cocktail.
What is that radionics car? Is that something you put around in your car?
Yeah, this is, it's interesting that we're asking for this. A quick story. When I moved in this apartment, the second day my car completely gave up the ghost, and it's an old car, And I just decided I'm going to wait till my health sells and buy a new car. But in my scan, literally every day, Radionics car came up, so I kept sending it. And one of the tenants went down and fixed it.
Wow.
So I bought it again. And so we'll put it in, you know, the old theory, what can it hurt?
Exactly.
That's interesting.
Okay, this has been coming up a lot too, this Malcolm Ray Restore Essential Elemental Cell Memory. I forgot to do that. I got off track here. I had a second Malcolm Ray. Disable chemical delivery systems. Sounds like a good plan.
Oh.
This is an interesting one too. Defiant and argumentative over small issues.
Yeah.
This came up the other day for a client. Pardon? What was that, Ron?
I say small issues, but they can get really big too.
Well, just as an example. Yeah, just as an example, I had a girl here a couple weeks ago, and the whole time she was upset about her hair. She had just come from the beauty parlor. She didn't like her hair. And this came up for her. She's like, oh. So that's what I'm talking about with small issues. Things like that.
Yeah.
Let's see. These garlic products are very good. It's basically aged garlic, if you ever test yourself for those things. We've been coming up with this one quite a bit too, this mitochondria autogenesis. We don't always get to see this because we just don't have the time, but we will soon have the time.
Hey, Cathy, can
Restore
I ask
the
a
firmness
question?
of collagen.
There you go.
Of course. Yeah, Ron, what is it?
Yeah, you know, I was just wondering if there's anyone in the group that does actual regular dowsing. You know, I do dowsing too, so I mean, like, but I've been looking for people to join us over in Australia. We're working on the COVID. With the dowsing and on every week we meet up for about 10-15 minutes and we do dowsing on the COVID, not only in Australia but all over the world. So I'm just wondering, you know, if anybody might be interested in coming and joining us.
Ron, why don't you send that link to me and I'll send it to Joanna to put in the Virtual Spa Academy. I mean, I do some dowsing a little bit more lately. It really helps.
Yeah, I'd be interested in that too, Cathy. I don't do a lot of dowsing, but it would be interesting, especially if it was for certainly a cause for the planet.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what we do every week we meet, and the ladies over there, you know, asked us to join. So I went ahead one day and I joined with them. So every week on Zoom we get together and we do the dowsing over in Australia. And it's very interesting because Australia, and in fact, is coming along just fine. I mean, they're in a process now of even talking about removing the mask completely.
Wow.
Really? Okay, so I see also there were a couple of these in here. The programmed love we asked for as well, and I must have that in the other computer, so I'll add that for the afternoon bit of this. We'll add that one.
Well, there's sure a lot of them.
Well, it's all subtle energy. We have, you know, so many things going on, and that we just about have this covered. Let's go ahead. Where'd you go?
Are you working on both?
I think we did have it covered. Pardon?
Are you doing this work on both of your computers? Because
yes, I have I don't dare have just one computer because, you know, what do I do if it goes down?
Oh.
Yeah, so I definitely work with both, and I try to keep this one more for the group so I don't show everybody's personal information when things come up, but I do use it, you know, for other things too, for the energy. But let's go ahead, for example, with the thought of, you know, sometimes we just need a little bit. Let's just also see how long we want this issue solver to run. And I had a scan on that and somehow erased it, so I'll have to redo that for now. Because again, you know, you've seen it with the charger, that very often we need just a little bit. So, okay, well, we're taking the max this time. Is that it? Oh, okay, that's what I thought. We had more room on this one. Let's just take that out. Got two more. Any requests? How about blood clot? That came up. Anything else? One more. Yeah, I'm going to put possession. And then real quickly, I thought we were going to do the field generator, but as you can see, that's not where we want to go. Well, can get this before it begins. If not, I'll let you know what it comes up with. But meanwhile, have a great weekend.
You too, Cathy. Thank you.
Let's see what
Yeah,
we've got.
have a nice week.
Okay, so this would be an example here again. You could look and see which of these is a priority for life force. This, I used to add some nutrients to this. I'm going to take those out because we don't really need that. But let's just look here, for example.
Football.
Even by your awareness of our request for this, you started working on it. So let's see. Not about a 53. Let's look at resentful.
Look at what?
Resentful.
This concludes the SRC4u Zoom call for CathyDSlaght for March 26, 2021. Please join us on our Zoom calls Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. We look forward to seeing you then. Till then, take care and be well.